Hey everybody, this is Jeff from Two Wheels Trading Company, mapping out the trails. We are starting at the metal buildings and headed east down the hill. It's a pretty good descent to start this trail, and there's some loose gravel, so take it easy on that descent. And we're going to turn to the right here. I apologize that the camera angle is a little bit low to start, but turns to the right and then it immediately starts to climb back uphill. You'll see me struggling up this hill here for a little bit. And then we're going to make a left once we kind of get towards the top of the hill. And this road runs east and west for the most part between the north side of the golf course and the south side of Lake Mount Sterling. I'm going to speed the video up here a little bit just to try to rip through this. You can see I got a little better camera angle now. This is just an old roadbed that goes back to the camping area where the Boy Scouts used to use. As I said, we're headed east now. And we just kind of trimmed some of this back and want to keep it rideable, and I appreciate the city coming through and mowing this for me. You'll see some paint markings on the way back here, and I'll explain that a little bit more when I stop the video and we get to some of that. But really just wanted to show you the trails. And you see, I pause the video here, you can see some orange paint off to the left. Anytime you see any orange paint, that's just a lookout that we've put down to make sure that riders know stay out of that area. That's a pretty big washout there. And you'll see some more blue arrows and blue paint later on that we'll go through that. Again, this kind of runs along the golf course. Right now, we're about to pop out by the 16th fairway of Mount Sterling Rolling Greens Golf Course. Take a couple of more lefts and rights. And when you see a telephone pole up here, know that you're getting close to where we enter into the single track, what I would call the single track overlook trail to start, that we have been blazing, cutting out all the underbrush and trying to pack down dirt. We've only had a handful of work days. We've had 3 or 4 people. I probably average 4 to 5 people, I guess, on most volunteer days, so we could use some more help to get that done. But when you see this telephone pole up here, then you'll see a blue arrow on the left, and I've slowed the video back down to normal speed, and that's where we're going to enter into the single track. We are going to modify this first portion a little bit, clean it out a little bit, because it's pretty tight and it doesn't flow very well. So we're going to take some of these smaller trees out. It's pretty sharp left and right here. We also have to do a little more dirt work up here. You'll see we kind of drop down in a hole right here, and so we need to bank this a little better and make it quicker to get through that corner. But from here, you can see the lake off to your right, so now we're headed back to the west. And we just kind of follow along the west edge of the south side of the lake, heading west until we run into some washouts, and then we kind of end up back up towards the road a few times, and it just kind of zigzags where we could. As I was saying, we have usually 4 or 5 people helping on volunteer days. So far, if you do a complete loop, it's about 1.7 miles. And we've had a little bit of a section since then, but it's not part of this loop. You'd have to go down and then turn around and come back. I hope to finish that and incorporate it into this loop a little bit further down the road. This is one of my favorite sections, kind of a downhill, flowy section where you can really carry some speed if you want to. But we're just kind of bypassing the big ravine there. And then now you can see the lake again, kind of off to my right. As I was saying, we're just shy of 2 miles so far done. After we get this next section cleared, then I think we're going to go back and do some construction work and start to put up some signs. And that'll probably be about all that we get done for the summer. We may be able to get a little bit more done this fall. We'll see how things go and how much interest we get in getting folks out to help build this. You'll see this kind of climbs back up to the road, and we're going to come to a stopping point here in just a second. There's a blue arrow here to the left pointing you back out to the road, which is the way we want you to take the trail now. But in between those two trees directly in front here, there's a log across there. Eventually this trail will go straight through those two trees, and then we're going to build a bridge over the big washout that flows back down to the lake, so that you don't have to come back out to the road. But it's just a couple of pedal strokes, and then we're around that big draw and back onto the high bluff, headed back towards the lake. And now you can again kind of see we come out towards the lake, and then we're going to run parallel with it, headed back to the west right here. As far as updates go, again, we continue to kind of do these volunteer days once or twice a week, once every 1 to 2 weeks. Do appreciate everybody that helped with the bike fundraiser and also the cookout that JR and Sarah Parn did. So we've got about $2,000 to go back into the trail. We haven't had to spend any yet, but we're going to use that money for signage and the bridge that I referenced earlier. And then this is kind of the end of the trail right here as it stands. We have started on that section where I was pointing my bike. On the screen now is just a quick elevation map that shows you the up and downs of the trail. It looks deceiving, but it's not that bad. It's just, it's only 50 or 60 feet of elevation climb in a couple of miles. And then here's a map of where we started is the red dot on the left, and you can see where we end up by the lake and then come back out by the red dot. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe for future updates. Thanks.